Hey everyone. I, I I want to make this video because I think it is so pertinent for anyone who has dealt with a breakup or parental alienation or anything along those lines. And I want to talk about how you can go down one of two roads, and how even if you're going down one road, it's possible that you can turn right and go down the other road and begin again and begin anew and know that there is hope. But there are steps you have to take and conscious decisions you have to make in order to go down that other road. And you can go either in a very positive or negative direction. When someone you love opts to disconnect from you without recourse, without reason, and sometimes we know why and sometimes we don't know why, but it can be all consuming in a very negative way when someone we love no longer communicates with us. And you can either choose to be filled with anger, hate, negativity, unforgiveness, and all of that. That's one path. Or even if you have been down that path and you're still angry and you're still dealing with a lot of hurt and shame and guilt. Sorry. This is a very difficult subject to talk about, but I'm going to get back on track. I'm not going to cry because it's really difficult to not cry. So let's just say I've been through this for 10 years and it's still, especially with Mother's Day coming up. Initially, I was filled with a lot of anger and a lot of anything regarding anger. And I remember talking with a friend one day, and she says it's so much better to laugh than to cry. And I had to slowly, even if it's a minute by minute, I had to choose happiness, and I had to start to embrace a new path and a new way. I had to go down the road that is less traveled and much more difficult, because being angry is a very, it's not an easy choice, but it's just a less difficult choice, because you can stew in it and you can make a million excuses as to why you're going to be angry. But opting to go down the road where you're choosing happiness means you have to act, and means you have to acknowledge that you're angry, and you have to acknowledge that you're sad and you're mad and all of that, and you have to work at being happy. It is not, it's not an easy thing, because happiness it takes effort to go on vacation to where you're going to be happy. It takes effort to step out of your comfort zone and choose to find bliss and to work towards positivity. It takes work. It takes work, because this world is filled with negativity, hostility. If you look on the news, a majority of it is gloom and doom. So it's just easier. It's easier to fall into gloom and doom, negativity, anger, hate, and all that. But in order to fill your life with happiness, you almost have to disconnect from the gloom and doom, and you have to disconnect from the anger and the hate and the hostility. And you have to say, I'm going to choose happiness today. I'm making a choice to work towards something better. You know, you go on a vacation, you have to plan your vacation, you have to do some research, and you have to have the money to go on vacation and this and that. And then you go, and normally you disconnect and you have hopefully a good time. Like Disney said, it's the happiest place on earth. But you have to, in order to eventually merge over into the happy lane. You have to make conscious decisions, and you have to you have to choose it, whether it's a minute by minute thing or an hour by hour thing. When you find yourself slipping back into a negative position, you have to say, you know what? I'm going to allow myself 5 minutes, because it's, for me, it's been 10 years. I'm going to allow myself a couple of minutes to vent, talk about this, but then I have to choose. I have to choose to go in a positive direction. So either I'm going to go take a walk, I'm going to have a happy thought, I'm going to read I'm going to read something positive. A couple of things I've been doing lately is Tyler Perry. is I love the Medea movies. Medea. Sorry, I hope I'm not saying it wrong. But he also, the talks that he gives, or the messages that he sends out, are messages of straightforward hope, about letting go. One, he says, let them go. People that walk away from you, let them go. People that, in your life that are making choices that are affecting you, you have to be direct with them and say, this has to change, or you have to let them go. And so one thing I've been doing lately is listening to different Tyler Perry speeches, or his, when he preaches. I know he sat in a church and gave his, he preached, and it just gives me hope. So I have to make the conscious decision to, instead of watching the news, I turn towards Tyler Perry, or I listen to a motivational speaker on TED Talks. So each one of us has an opportunity to make choices as to whether your cup is going to be filled with negativity and hostility, or kindness and love. And every single day you have your 24-hour period. Third of it for me is spent sleeping. But for the other 2/3, what am I going to fill that time with? Am I going to stew over or sit in things that I have no control over? About when, someone disconnects from you and they break free, and I have no control over that. So what do? Do I sit and talk about it for 5 hours and stew in it and relish in it and jump in the pot and, in the crock pot, and allow myself to be cooked over time and be marinated in the anger and the hate? Or do I choose to get out of that pot and get into an instant pot, which takes a fourth of the time, and say, I'm gonna sit in this for a little bit, and then I'm gonna get out, and I am not going to allow this to consume me, and I instead am going to choose to go in a different direction, and I'm going to make a change, and I am going to finally do what I have to do to make myself happy and to find joy despite what others have chosen to do. So all I know is, if your home, if your cup is filled with negativity and your mind is filled with negativity, there's absolutely no room for anything good. And as soon as you start lessening and making that cup half full and less full of the anger, the hate, all of that other stuff, and replacing that with love and kindness and positivity and good experiences, and even just anything, just throw anything in the pot that can replace all the negative stuff, you'll find yourself shifting, and you'll find your mind shifting and your heart shifting. And when your life is filled with good, you'll find that there's absolutely no room in your buffet for something negative. I'm telling you, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work because it takes effort. It takes effort. It really does. So that's all I wanted to talk about. What is your cup filled with? What are you doing in your life to make your life better and to make decisions every single day, every moment of every day, to do something good? And for me, it's making these videos. And for me, it's being conscious of what I'm thinking, doing, eating, feeling, thinking about, stewing in, and that's all there is to it. So I hope this video helps. I hope you have a great day, and I will talk with you soon. Bye-bye.